Hey guys, welcome back to Get Into It with Jason Hook, with me, your host, Jason Hook. And in this episode, we are going to go over or through some things I bought when I went to New York to see Youth of Today, which was 4 months ago. Because I'm lazy and it takes me this long to make a video. So what we're listening to is the Nightbirds, Fresh Keels Volume 1. This came out in 2011 on Grave Mistake. The Nightbirds are a band from New Jersey. Definitely has like the California surf sound to it. If you dig like bands like Agent Orange or Adrenaline OD or the Adolescents with a 90s tinge to it. It's not, carbon copy. You'll dig these guys. And what this is that this is a discography of sorts of the demo and all the 7 inches and that came out before the first LP. These guys now on Fat Records. I think it's 3 LPs now, 2 on Fat, or maybe, I think I wrote it down. I didn't write it down. Whatever. They have a bunch of LPs out now. And also a couple more EPs and like some comp tracks and splits and whatnot. But this is pretty much up to 2011 what they had out. So, cool thing they did. It's a cover of everything they've done here. Yeah, and then on the back, it's the back of the records. I believe this might also be set up where the B-side is actually the B-side songs, and the A-side is the songs that were on the A-side. I should have checked that. The Buzzcocks did that. And, so you get the LP sleeve here. It's got a live photo. They've had some lineup changes over the years, too. Still kill, though. And then here you got all the lyrics of songs. And then there's, like, little explanations of what was going on at the time of, the recording. This is a great record. I really love this band a lot. You can get this for cheap as hell, too. This was $12. I think you can get it for cheaper. I picked this up in a store randomly. It took me so long to get this because I own the, cool guy brag, humble brag. I own everything on here except for the demo. But this is great shit. Check them out. Check out Nightbirds. I think I've talked about them before on this channel. You can't lose. They're great. Everything they've done is great. The new stuff's real good, too. What's the eyebrow moves today? Anyway, so next we're going to get into this. This band's called Pulling Teeth. They're from the Washington, D.C. area. The name of this record is, I have it memorized and I forget it, Martyr or Mortal. Took me a second. There's a couple treats in here, too, that are unrelated to this record. White vinyl, vinyl. Upside down. Got the center labels here. So these guys are a hardcore band from the Washington, D.C. The singer, Mike, used to be in this band called The Spark way back in the day, who I saw a bunch. You got a gatefold here with the lyrics in the center, in the back here. I love this art. This is a band I slept on just because I'm a jerk. And I'm kind of bummed I did. A year or so ago, I actually heard them. They've been broken up for a while, like a long while. And I was like, why did I never listen to this band? Laziness. Laziness, and I think inundation of just too many bands. And I just fucking, for me, I lost them in the shuffle, which is my fault. It's my fault. But, great metallic tinge hardcore with a scream vocal over it. Very socially conscious and political lyrics, which I dug a lot. Vegetarian. Some pro-vegetarian stuff in here. But just a great band. This band's called Pulling Teeth. This album's called Martyr or Immortal. Give it a listen, because I feel like kind of there's a lot of music coming out when these guys were in their swing, and they flew over my head, and I missed them, and I'm bummed. But you can check out videos of them online. This stuff's easy to find, but that's Pulling Teeth. And what was in here? At one point in New York, I guess I saw Zoltar. I must have asked him if I wanted to be big. Your fortune. I have a very sympathetic nature. Yeah, I guess. And look how stoked I am. So this trip to New York, I went to go see Youth of Today. I took a bus down from Boston. It was cheap as hell. I actually bought 2 seats next to each other so I could sit by myself because I'm a jerk. And I got there way early and I walked around all day and all night. And then I had to kill 7 hours because I'm an idiot. And the space between the end of the show and the bus home was way long. And so I walked down the street and they had 24-hour diners. And I stopped at every 24-hour diner. And like had like an egg, a muffin, one pancake until it killed 7 hours. Jason shit. Sometimes I don't think, guys. So next we have, now this band, this is in Portuguese, I know I'm going to slay it, is Ratos de Porao. This is actually, I wrote it down. This is a 2008 pressing of a 1984 record that came out on, this is on Beat Generation, which I believe also did the Simulators LP that I've shown on here before, I'm pretty sure. So a lot of people might consider this the first Latin or hardcore punk release. Some people can debate it. I'm not 100% sure. I just want to throw that out there because I have seen it called that. What you get here is you get some pretty standard 1984 American, well, not American, but hardcore punk. Very fast, breakneck speeds, scream vocals. This is a cool release here. Got the gatefold there. It's got all the lyrics and everything's in Portuguese, which as you guys know, you're all fans of the channel. You know I do not speak. Black vinyl, we've all seen it. But this actually translates to Basement Rats. Live photo in this area. It translates to Basement Rats. These guys, I believe, came up and played in a town called New Bedford in the late 90s at Reflections, maybe. I didn't go. I think I was just a little bit out of the age group here to go to every single show I wanted to go to. But it's just, you know, you got the UK and American, the American mix of just 1984 punk and hardcore. I wouldn't say a total reinvention of the wheel, but if you dig that stuff, this is it. If you can speak Portuguese, you're gonna love this because literally there's no English on this, which is awesome because they didn't, you know, bow down to. They really didn't care that, you know, for an audience, they just sung what they knew. But the photos here, you got photos on the back. I believe an original press of this might go for a little bit of coin. I'm not 100% sure. But this is some great stuff. Hardcore punk, 80s tinge, and in Portuguese. Where are they from? Did I write it down? They're from Brazil. Yeah, so. I'm a little spacey right now. It's been a long day. Next, I have the Maine For Life LP here. This came out in 2014 repress of a 1985 recording. The A side on this is the Maine For Life 7-inch, and the B side is just unreleased tracks. The singer of this band, Aldine Strychnine, went on to be in Poison Idea, but this is his band before that at Salt Lake City, Utah. Again, this is a very American punk of the time sounding stuff. Really good. I'm surprised that this band doesn't have more of a following, or like more of a following, or just more people talk about it when they talk about American hardcore, early American hardcore in that nature. But this was a random buy I grabbed at Rough Trade in New York, which I thought a lot of stuff in that store was slightly overpriced. They had some cool stuff in the used section, but it was definitely a little bit pricey for my blood. But yeah, this is like, you know, or the early American sound, which, you know, it didn't go, you know, the thing about American punk and hardcore, in my opinion, is they're one and the same, especially when you're in the early 80s. It hadn't gone in that super punk or super hardcore, like chuggy direction. It was a, you know, punk, hardcore punk. And this band falls right in that category if you dig that stuff. But this is the Maine For Life. I believe it's just called the discography, or just Maine For Life. But it's got the original EP, and then I believe it's 6 songs that were recorded at the time of the EP and were never put out. That it finally came out on this. But definitely, if you guys see this in a bin, grab it. I think I own it. I think $13.99. I never even heard this band before, but it says the thing, that one plus side with Rough Trade is they, on the price tags, they have like little, you know, explanations of what this is. So, real SLC punk with real characters, expanded reissue of the original 1985 6-track EP, now going for silly money. Aldine went in for here to be in Poison Idea. Band is back in action and planning a new release soon. So who knows how long ago that was written, but definitely early American punk. Get into it, dig it. Maine For Life. Now that we're in the 80s, you know, the next 3 releases are the 80s and New York tinged. So, first, instant classic. We got on Agnostic Front, Cause for Alarm, on relatively compact combat core records. I bought this at Captured Tracks, which was a cool little shop in New York, in Brooklyn. This copy's a little bit partied on. It was $35, I believe. I just wanted to grab one. I actually don't own a copy of this on vinyl. I think I have a bootleg, and I know I have it on CD. But it was up on the wall. I was on vacation in New York. Whatever. I might have overpaid for a little beat-up copy, but, you know, it's what it is. We got the Combat Core center labels here. But this is the second LP, I believe, from AF. Please tell me I'm right. I know I wrote it down. Maybe the second or third LP. I'm at outer space right now. But they added a guitar on here. It's definitely got a more metallic crunch, but there are there's some classics on here. There's classics for different reasons. You know, you got the ones that everyone knows. Everyone knows. You got the Eliminator, Your Mistake, Toxic Shock, Bomber Z, the not so famous Public Assistance, which was written by Pete Steele from Carnivore. I'll leave it for you guys to look that one up. Yeah, the Taggart cover art. There's two different covers. There's original cover art, which wasn't used, but it was done on a repress, and this is sick. I have a shirt with the, you got the, hey Pat, what's up? You got the Satan skinhead up in the corner here. But this is great stuff. You guys should know who AF is. If you don't, dive in here. If you're a metalhead and you're kind of dabbling hardcore and you have no idea, I would say this will be more your taste. This has more of a metal tinge to it. And the best thing I love about these is official Agnostic Front merchandise. Victim in Pain t-shirts are only $7. I can get 2 shirts, a pin, 2 pins, and some patches, and it will cost me $18, man. I should send $20 for t-shirts, man. $2 shipping and handling, man. I'm sorry you lost it, but yeah. Agnostic Front, Cause for Alarm, classic record. Get the band shot on the back. I like how it's got everyone except for the drummer. But Agnostic Front, Cause for Alarm, New York hardcore. OGs, 1986. All right, next we have, while we're in New York, Harley Kromaggs Flanagan, the early demos. Now this, as you guys know, this is a net rough trade. It's got the thing here. As you guys know, the Kromaggs legal battle is over. Harley owns the name Kromaggs. John does Kromaggs JM for John and Mackie. This right here is 4 songs, 4 demos, supposedly recorded in 1982 with Harley singing. You got the classic photo here. It's got, some legends. You got Stigma. You got Harley. You got Rabies right there. I don't remember who this is. I can't remember. Someone fill me in. But you got 2 songs that ended up being on Age of Coral with John Joseph singing. You got Don't Tread on Me, and you got Wake Up, which was turned into Do Unto Others. And then you got 2 other tracks on here, Dead End Kids and Why Don't You. It's like, demo, not the best recordings in the universe. A little bit of a different feel because it is, I know there's the ongoing battle of who the Kromaggs are. I'm not going to throw my opinion on it, but John Joseph has a very distinct vocal delivery, so the song sounded a little different without John Joseph, but it is what it is. Now, insert here about Harley talking about the history of the Kromaggs. Kromaggs played its first show at CBGB, billed as Kromaggs in 1984, with Eric Casanova on vocals, Harley Flanagan on bass, Paris Mayhew on guitar, and Mackie Jason, who was borrowed from the band Frontline on drums. This was the beginning of the band, and those were the demos that set it all off. For your listening pleasure, we have released these historic demos. Harley Kromaggs Flanagan presents the first Kromaggs demos ever recorded. Harley Flanagan, bass, guitar, vocals, drums. So he did everything on here. Early Kromaggs shot, right there, or just crew shot. But yeah, so you get 4 songs on here. Definitely demo quality. 2 songs you recognize off the bat. A little bit different with a different vocalist, with Harley singing. If you like the Kromaggs, you need to own this. You need to be a completist. I remember I couldn't find this around here for the weirdest reason, and this was the kind of record for me which I was not gonna. I'm into buying these in the wild, and then I saw it at Rough Trade and I overpaid. It was $17.99, which I think is still too much. I mean, I think that's a lot of money for 4 songs. But anyways, recorded in '82 and finished in '83. By '84, the Cro Mags played their first show. So basically, just record the little bio is ripped off from the inside. But that's Harley Kromaggs Flanagan, the early, the original Cro Mag demos, '82, '83. 4 songs, you know, more NYHC. Now finally, we don't have NYHC, but we have NY Metal. This is Manowar, Defender. This is the only something that was, you know, releases that seem to be super popular in the 80s out of the metal scene. This is on Music for Nations. It's a 2-song, like maxi single LP. Music for Nations label here. The first song has I believe is it Orson Welles? It probably says it on the back here. All right, yeah, it says Orson Welles doing a long intro over music. When the singer comes in and starts singing, they actually cut Orson Welles sound bites into the song, like in between singing parts. And then the B-side is just a power metal anthem. If you guys don't know who Manowar are, they're the most metal band to ever be metal. That's all I'm ever going to say. If you don't listen to Manowar, you're a poser. The music's for people who wear jeans and leather and not crackerjack clothes, and it's too bad if they play too loud. Also on this too, Ross the Boss played guitar. This was when he was in the band. You might remember Ross the Boss from such legendary bands as The Dictators and Manitoba's Wild Kingdom. He played guitar and does he? Yeah, I wrote some weird stuff on here. Yeah, he played guitar and keyboards on here. He also this also is listed as a 45, but it's 33 RPM. But that's Defender. I love Manowar. They're the most metal band to ever exist. I'm keeping up the kayfabe here. Next we have, in my last video, I talked about this band. Here we have the Witchtrial, and this is the demo on here, 4-song demo on Beach Impediment Records. These guys are out of Washington, D.C., I believe, or the D.C. area. And it's people from the hardcore scene doing metal, like basically early 80s thrash, crossover worship, early Slayer. See demo 2017. If you dig early Slayer, there's no reason you won't dig this. I'm a big fan. I think I'm hoping, what they're going to do next, because they have the demo, and I believe this is the LP I showed, and that's about it. This might be also on tape, I don't know. And I picked this up at a store called Academy. But I know I talked about this band last time. This is Witchtrial. Just metal, just early 80s thrash worship metal done right by basically by hardcore kids. I mean, for so much, it's they're out of Washington D.C. Mastered by Will Killingsworth, just another genius, another recording and mastering job by Will. But this is great stuff. I can't recommend it enough. Comment below if you guys dig this. I have a couple of friends who like metal, not hardcore, or like they're heavily into metal and they kind of dabble into hardcore. And I'm kind of trying to use this band as a bridge. Like, oh, these dudes, like, hey, you like this? Like, check out the bands that they're in, which I'm not gonna leave it for you to go find out. But that's the Witchtrial demo on Beach Impediment Records. I'm sure these are easy to find. Next, I have this band here called Scum Brigade. I'm going to flip the record over after this. This band here called Scum Brigade. They're out of Sweden. The name of this record is Negative Hardcore Destructive Youth, and this was recorded in '99 and was for a 2000 US tour, which I totally missed, which is weird, man. Like, it's so weird. There's so much awesome punk and hardcore that for whatever some reason sometimes just slips by. Because I was definitely going to shows. Like 2000, I would go to multiple shows a week. And I'm sure this band played a Boston or Rhode Island area date, and I just must have completely spaced. I don't remember it. But what we got here is crusty, fast hardcore punk. Political lyrics, definitely. You got your insert here, which is like actually a little bit damaged in here. Looks like it got wet or something got spilled on it. But you got your insert here. It's got like the lyrics and then messages, definitely for of the crust area. There's an Animal Liberation Front song on here. Pages stuck together for some reason. It looks like some glue or something on it. Untitled, the ALF song, Homophobe. We live in a patriarchal society, a society where heterosexuality is the prevailing norm. The lines are being clearly drawn for us at an early stage in life. We are supposed to get married, get children, and live in a nuclear family. It's nuclear, not nuclear. Boys love girls and girls love boys, no questions asked. This is the way it is, and also the way it is going to last. This is being told to us through all forms of media, be it ads, television, books, theaters, etc. People who choose to live this way, to not live this way, and by that or some other way, are questioning patriarchy, or seen upon as a threat and are treated accordingly. Bi and homosexual relationships are challenging the patriarchal gender role with nuclear families as norm and are therefore seen as a threat. All over the world, homosexual people are still being killed, beaten up, jailed, mocked, and discriminated. All this because of their sexuality and the way they choose to live their life. That is of no one else's business. Open your eyes. This is sick. Homosexuality ain't. Question yourself. Don't be numb. React now and smash patriarchy and all other kinds of oppression against homosexual people. Homophobia ain't nothing but idiocy. Sorry about that. It's really hard to read. But yeah, so as you can tell, it's very political. It's really good. I actually messaged to bring up Ground Zero Salem one more time. I actually messaged about it. I heard this band because I think this would be something up at his alley at the time, and he was like, "Yeah," and I don't know why it slept on me. This is definitely like a Rush press. There's no marking, so you have to guess which side is A and B. But this is really good, just crusty political hardcore punk from Sweden. Members went on to be in the Skit Kids either before or after or during this. I'm not sure what the timelines are, but definitely check this out. You can get it for I think I paid $8 for this at Academy. $6. I paid $6 for this. I recommend this, but this is Scum Brigade, Negative Hardcore Destructive Youth, and this is all. And this kind of tickled my fancy the most out of just a random blind buy. I didn't even look this up when I bought it. I just thought the cover looked cool. I still like to pretend like you can't look stuff up right away. Next, I have this Devo record, Turn Around, B-Sides and More, 1978 to 1984. This came out on Run Out Groove Records, which, as you guys remember or might know, or I might have talked about on here, is a label that runs strictly on voting of what gets pressed and what doesn't get pressed, kind of like an online vote. So this is the 20th thing that they voted on, and I believe the 21st release that they did. And this is a really high quality sleeve here, really high gloss. It's real thick. It comes with this cool sticker sheet with all different Devos, the evolution. You have an insert here with just the song titles and photos, and photo on here. This is on red vinyl. I don't know the significance of it, or it's kind of like an orange red, or a marbled orange red. You got the Warner Brother, Devo center labels. And it also came with, in case you guys heard or saw, a cool embroidered Devo patch. Now, these are all what were considered B-sides. But, I mean, a lot of these songs I recognized right away, or I've heard. I mean, I own a lot of Devo. I am not a spud. I would not consider myself a spud. I'm not super educated on Devo. I just like Devo, and I buy their stuff when I see it. I saw this and I grabbed it. I've never voted on anything on Run Out Groove because I feel like for the most part, some of the stuff I have seen that they do is just kind of, I mean, for the sake of sounding rude, it's just kind of not my bag. But I mean, the songs on here, you got Working in a Coal Mine, Through Being Cool, Speed Racer, Mecha Mania Boy. I mean, if you guys have a general entry-level understanding of any Devo, I mean, there were B-sides, but they're not B-sides. They're great tunes. But that's Devo, Turn Around, B-sides and More. I'm going to flip the record, and then we're going to get into some EPs. This is all stuff I bought in New York, like I mentioned. I went to some record stores. I didn't go super nuts. I spent a lot of the time walking around being a tourist. Ate some really good tofu soup. Just walked around the city. I hadn't done that in a long time. So first here is we got a $2 purchase here. This is the Flesh Eating Creeps They Live, the Infertile 3-way split 7-inch. They live out of upstate New York. The rest of the bands are out of the Virginia area, or out of Virginia. Just power violence. Fastcore, which was extremely popular at the time. I believe this came out in 1997. They Live, I have multiple releases by. They're around a lot. They did a lot of splits. I believe the member of They Live also recorded a lot of bands. They cover a Hermit's Hermit song here. I'm Henry VIII, I Am, but it's not like, it's true to the original, so it's kind of weird. It kind of sounds out of place on here. But the Flesh Eating Creeps are more of a punk band. The Infertile, I say, are more of a punk band, and They Live is just a fastcore, power violence, hardcore band. But that's a three-way split, $2 buy. If anyone knows anything about these bands, comment below or want to talk about them. Next, we have I was in New York, so I had to buy a Ramones record. This is I Want to Be Your Boyfriend. This is a 2009 repress of the record on Sire. Just black vinyl with the Sire labels. The B-side on here has California Sun, I Don't Want to Walk Around With You, live from Roxy, 1976. And then it goes into, here's what you guys said. It goes into Real Quick Today, Your Love Tomorrow, The World, which made me pull out. I actually have that show on a bootleg LP, which I pulled it out immediately and listened to it because it's a great recording. The Ramones are great. I'm gonna buy Ramones shit whenever I see it. I'm a sucker for it. There's so much recorded material that I might only start collecting Ramones. But it was also $25, which I think I might overpaid, but whatever. Next, I bought this Hard Stance Face Reality EP. This came out in 1988 on, is it Watershed? Workshed, on Workshed Records. This is a band in like what some people might consider, not disrespectfully, like the second wave of hardcore out of Irvine, California. But you got an insert here, you got the lyrics, and then you got this guy. You might look a little bit familiar. He was in this other band called Inside Out. And he might have sang in another band that everyone in the world knows, but I mean, I'm not too sure. I'll leave that for you to look up. Clear vinyl. But what you got here is you got late 80s American hardcore. A little heavier than the early stuff, a little less punk. The vocals on here are delivered in a little more sing-songy way, not full-blown sing-song, but not just a straight yell. I really dug it. You got a lot of songs on here too. It's an 8-song 7-inch. Members of this band went on to be in Farside, Chain of Strength, Alien Ant Farm, and like I said, that one guy I showed playing guitar sang it in this band called Inside Out, and I think that's all he ever did. I think he kind of quit music after Inside Out. But that's Farside, Hard Stance, Face Reality, just hardcore. Check it out. They just repressed this, which I believe it's an LP. As this, maybe a couple demo songs and a live song. It's like 20 songs total, and that's their whole discography. I don't own a version of that, and I believe I'm going to order it when I get off this. Well, the minute I end this video, because I dug this. I never owned one of these. I feel like they kind of fall. There's a lot of bands that around coming out in the late 80s, and I feel like these guys are so short-lived they might kind of fall to the wayside. But that's Hard Stance. Dudes from other bands. And then next, I went to New York to see Youth of Today. So this was a new 7-inch. The A-side's a spoken word, and the B-side's Anarchy in Vienna, which is just a cover, a live cover. This is not essential Youth of Today collecting here, guys. But what's cool is I could have got all 4, but I'm an idiot. So I only got 2. So you got different color vinyl here. But B-side, you got Ray Capo there. You got Ray Capo. And then on this one, you got blue vinyl. You got Porcel. And I could have bought Walter and Sammy, and I didn't, because I'm a fucking idiot, and they had them. And there's also a black vinyl version of this. This came out on Record Store Day. But the spoken word was recorded in 1990. The live track's from 1989. You got cool photos in the insert here of, like, back in the day. This is more, I would say, of just, if you love Youth of Today, buy this. If you've never heard Youth of Today, do not buy this, because it's not necessarily the greatest thing. It's a lot of, not a lot on a 7-inch here. And then it gets in a lock groove on the B-side with that Partridge Family quote about censoring my art. But this up the back there. And then I got 2. I need 2 more. I need Walter and Sammy, and I need the regular version. So if anyone wants to, I'm not going to pay a lot of money for this. I know it's on them. But it came out on Rev. that's all I got. I got a minute or two, so real quick, I just want to throw some plugs out there. Always Boston Hassle. They support me and I support them. Good. Always check them out. Check out shows at the Dorchester Art Project. Check out a local hardcore band. Check out a local punk band. Buy some music. Talk to your friends about music. Hang out. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I should check something out. Tell me I don't know what I'm doing. I should stop making videos. Whatever you want to do. But that's all I got. And I'll see you soon. I got tons of stuff coming. Have a good one. Anytime, man.